Ruth, it's good to have you here at Following the Nerd. I just want to ask you a few questions about your involvement with Harry Potter and whatever else you've been up to as well. Can you tell us how you came about the role?
I got lucky, basically. I was 16, April 2000. I was supposed to be revising for my GCSEs, and I wasn't. I was watching telly, as you do when you're revising. And there was a thing on children's BBC or Newsround saying Warner Brothers are going to make this film of the first Harry Potter book, and they want normal kids to apply. So they gave this address and said, send in a photo and a letter saying who you want to play and why, and if you don't hear anything in 2 weeks, then forget you ever did it. So a mate of mine rang me up, and he'd seen it as well. A guy called Will, and he was a couple of years younger than me, ginger as well. And he said, I'm going to do it, I'm going to apply for Ron, because, why the hell not, really? He said, well, you should do it as well. I was like, well, I can't really, there's only one of me, and I'm too old to play Ron, and I can't play the twins because there's just me. I thought, well, I suppose I could go for Percy, but he's Percy. He's not the coolest character. And I thought, why the hell not? So I did it. I wrote off and didn't hear a thing till the end of August that year. And I got this phone call out of the blue saying, we'd like you to come in for an audition tomorrow morning. Okay. Sent over a bit of script with one of the scenes, the Gryffindor common room scene on it, and so I did that for the casting director. Went back 2 days later and met the director and the producers, and started 5 days after that. It just all of a sudden it happened, and I was just kind of flung straight in at the deep end. It was kind of scary.
So all very quick and very fast paced.
Really sudden. And literally went from getting my GCSE results to this audition to 5 days later being in a room with the best actors in the world, and I didn't really know what the hell was going on. It was really scary.
And had you read the books before? I'm guessing that you have.
Yeah, I'm a proper Harry Potter nerd all the way.
So you kind of had an inkling as to what would be expected of Percy down the line?
Yeah, I think when I auditioned, I think the fourth book had just come out. So Percy had done the head boy thing, and he was already off at the ministry, so we could see where things were going a little bit, but still sort of no real clue as to what was going on. We didn't even know they were going to make any more than one film at that point. So
But you mentioned they're working with some great actors. Tell us a bit more about that. How did that feel? Or
it was weird, I mean, the first day at work was we had a table reader sort of read through the first film, and we all sat around with our scripts and stuff. And I remember walking into the room, and I was staying at a friend. We've got family friends who live near the studio, so I lived with them while I was filming. And a car came and picked me up from there, and in the back of the car was Emma Watson on her first day as well. And so we walked into this room together, and literally you walked through the door, and there was everyone who's anyone. There was Maggie Smith and Richard Harris, Robbie Coltrane, Julie Walters, Alan Rickman. Everyone was there, and we're like, oh my god, okay, well, this is ridiculous.
So all these people that you saw on TV
all
doing
these
GCSEs?
People, yeah, exactly. And we're like, this is some huge mistake. Why are we in this room with all these amazing people? And I remember J.K. Rowling was there as well, and she there was this line of people trying to, all these kids trying excitedly to meet this woman. And I got to the front of the queue, and she just looked at me and went, "You must be Percy." Very nice to meet you. Yes! I must have done the right thing. It was great. But you know what? They were the nicest people. Everyone was just really supportive. Because I guess because it was such a young cast. I don't know whether they took that into consideration when they were casting people, but everyone they were just really nice and looked out for us and looked after us and always there to give advice and to kind of ask questions. And it was never a case of, oh, that's Maggie Smith, you can't talk to Maggie Smith. She was just there, and everyone was great.
So it was a great opportunity to learn some of those acting skills. And
best drama school you could go to.
Well, tell us, what were some of your best memories from working on Harry Potter?
Oh God, all of it. Do you know what? All of it was just insane. It was such a sort of weird experience, but shooting people out there. There was a lot of it. My clearest memory is on the first film when I did my sort of the big Percy bit with taking the kids up the marble staircase and then through the corridors and into the common room. We shot a lot of that in Gloucester Cathedral on location. We were there for 3 weeks. and that's one of my favourite memories, just because it was the first time that it was about me. It was Percy's bit, you know. So it was kind of exciting to kind of lead the way and sort of know that all these cameras were looking at me and everyone was looking at me. It's quite that was kind of a moment where I went, oh God, I'm actually doing this.
It's real.
Yeah, and actually I'm quite a big part of this. Yeah.
So Percy, as the story progresses, you mentioned about Ministry of Magic and everything, and he's very supportive of all of that and goes to work there and things, kind of more so than as the rest of his family would be. How did that feel working with the rest of the Weasley cast then?
It was good, you know. I mean, as the films went on, obviously sort of Percy became less and less important, which is fine. I'm happy with that, you know. But there was always a really good family sort of tie. We all got on massively well, all of us, and having Julie Walters and Mark Williams as your parents was great. So it was always fun. But yeah, I didn't see them. There was 2 or 3 films where I just didn't see any of them because, you know, I was working with the others. I was being ministry man. Yeah.
So tell us, what are you working on now? What current projects are there?
Well, after the which one was it? After I wasn't in the 6th film, I did the 5th. I did 1, 2, 3. Didn't do the 4th film. Went off and did some theatre work and some telly and things. Came back to do the 5th one, and then they didn't ask me back to do the 6th one. I thought, okay, that's fine. My time has obviously come to an end because Percy's storyline doesn't really have anything to do with the main plot anymore. So I'll just accept that that's probably it. No more for me. Great. I thought, well, I should probably get some qualifications. So I went to university to do film production, and then in the middle of that they asked me to come back and do the 7th film and the 8th film. So I kind of struggled through university, kind of trying to do 2 things at once. Got through uni, and since then I've been working in film production. So I work as a production runner. I've been working as a runner and as a third AD, additional third AD is what I'm technically known as now. So I boss extras around for a living. And yeah, it's been great fun. I've just finished working on a show called Da Vinci's Demons that's coming out in April.
Okay. Here, and where would we find that then?
It's on the FX channel.
Okay.
I think it's the same. It's Julie Gardner, who's the producer who did Torchwood and all that kind of stuff. The same directors as Game of Thrones, Merlin, all that kind of thing. It's great. It's going to be an amazing show. I've been trying to describe it to people. And it's written by David S. Goyer, who did the last few Batmans and such. And it's got a kind of sex and drugs and rock and roll kind of thing. And it's kind of, I don't know. It's just really different. I've never come across anything like it before. It's like the Tudors meets Entourage. I don't know. That's a weird way of putting it, but it's fab. It's going to be really cool.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
We'll be excited to see more of that.
It's going to be good. Yeah, I think there's going to be a few more series of it as well.
Great.
And then hopefully I've just got a job on another show that I don't even know what the show is yet, but it's the same guys that are producing. Who produce Merlin and Hustle and all that kind of stuff. So
excellent.
I'm lucky. I live in Wales, and we are really lucky in Wales that we've got everything. We've got like the entire nerd genre happening right there in front of me. So yeah, I'm lucky.
Well, thanks for coming and talking to us today. It's been really exciting and
it's been fun.
Great to hear more of what you're up to. So thank you.
Thank you.